Hey everyone, Jefflenius here. In this video I'll be doing a guide on Stronghold Crusader's last mission, which is the hardest mission in the entire franchise in my opinion. I know I'm only 20 years late for this guide, you don't need to tell me, but I'm pretty sure many people still struggle with this mission. Anyway, I hope you guys like it. Let's get started. So here we are. Firstly, we can go ahead and reduce the game speed to 20 and restart the game because the early game is important. On top of our usual starting buildings, we also want a woodcutter right next to the tree in our farmland. We want that cleared ASAP. And what's different from my previous run is this moat right next to the quarries. It's crucial to send your units to dig this moat as soon as you can. While your units are digging up that moat, you can build your stone quarries. They will be your best friend on this mission. For our early game defense we need 20 crossbowmen, 8 engineers and our lord. Yes, we use our lord just in case some slaves run through our defenses, and we use 4 engineers for ballisty and the rest for shields. The reason we get ballisty is in case the enemy gets siege engines up. They couldn't get any in my run, but if they did, try to target fire them as soon as you can because that's the only way you lose. So as you can see, I'm selling whatever I don't need for some extra money, and also I got 3 Fletchers, which I think is a good investment early on. Make sure you're saving some stones in case you need to repair your towers and walls. And finally, this is how I build my defenses. I fill these 2 towers with archers and leave a gap in my wall. Make sure there's a gap, because if you fill up your wall the enemy might start attacking the other areas or set up more siege weapons. This is to trick our opponent to rush in with all they have. And lastly, we can create a little maze for them too, just to make sure they don't reach our production too quickly. To fortify our defenses even further, we can add 1 or 2 fire throwers in the mix as well. Congratulations, you have made the perfect defense for this mission. With this setup you can basically never lose the game anymore unless you don't pay attention for a few hours. Behind this we can produce stone and leather, and if you're feeling fancy you can make a huge city with lots of bread and ale production and religion as well. And yes, leather is one of our main gold incomes too. 1 cattle farm can support up to 7 leather workshops, so make sure you're using that. Also, this can become important later on. Start gathering all the wood in the quarry area because trees can become a nuisance when you want to build stuff. So this is phase 1 completed. You can even go ahead and try to figure out the rest of the mission for yourself, because early game is probably the hardest part of this mission. But we're not done yet, there are other great challenges in this mission, so stay tuned. So before we start killing them, you should be grinding the mission until you have about 100 or so crossbowmen and lots of shields, because shields are broken. Also, we're making a gateway because we want to prevent our enemy from choosing this as their attack path. Make sure it's closed every time you move units through it, because AI in this game is stupid and will still try to go through the open gate. And if our enemies send their army here, we will probably lose all of our army and we'll have to grind for another 10 minutes again. For our move out, we want to stack all of our units and shields on top of each other and start pushing towards the enemy castle. To do this more effectively, I'll show you a control group trick you can do to go through this much easier. First, if you haven't heard about control groups before, you can press Control with any number to assign your selected units to that number. So for example, if I have 20 archers selected and I press Control and 1 at the same time, it will assign those archers to my 1 key, and every time I press that button it will select those units. And this is how we're gonna abuse this trick against our opponents. First, we assign multiple control groups for about 20 to 40 units each. Then we go through every single control group and issue a move command to where we want to attack. This will stack all those groups on top of each other, and it's a really powerful move to clear towers and walls so quickly. Be careful you're not stacking all your units in fire pits though, that can become a disaster so quickly. So the only things you need to know about Nizar are his man traps. You can send slaves to clear out traps and moat and avoid losing your expensive crossbow units. Oh, and also Nizar makes assassins which are invisible, so watch out for that one as well. We don't use catapults here because we don't have the economy to support a large number of them, but you could get a few if you wanted to. With Nizar Ed you can do the same to Caliph, but make sure you're not getting too close to his castle. He has fire traps everywhere and it can wipe out your entire army in milliseconds. That unit stacking trick I just showed you can backfire here. And here I did try to get on Caliph's walls with a siege tower and fight Wolf while I'm on Caliph's towers, but it was pointless and I don't recommend that. Just kill Caliph immediately and get to the next phase of the game. So this is probably the hardest siege in the game. And of course it's Wolf's insane castle designs again. We could just YOLO in and maybe take him out with crossbowmen and shields. I mean, this is how I beat the game the first time, but there are some easier ways to deal with this. The main reason why this siege is so hard is because of the armies he and his allies send throughout the game, so you're sieging his castle while swarms of armored units are walking towards you. So I prefer taking his allies out before handling him. As you can see, Emir is really easy to kill with crossbows. You just walk up and take him out. There are no fire or friendly units coming to help him either, and once you take out the archers on the walls you can get close to his walls and force his gate to close. That will imprison him and his units inside and you can start bombarding him with arrows. Once you have dealt with Emir, make sure you have enough shields and crossbowmen for this part and maybe save the game for this push. Also make sure you have a lot of units home for the final push as well. Here we're attacking Richard and Wolf at the same time, and there's a time limit on how long we can continue doing this because both of them would have a huge bank of gold and they will continue making units during the attack. We want to climb up the Richard's walls and then attack Wolf from two sides. This way Richard can't send random units across the map and Wolf's ballisty on this side will be taken down as well. Don't worry about War's ear, he's been out of the game since the beginning because his mines were under attack by our archers. For our final attack we can pull every unit at home, and once we're at Wolf's walls the game's pretty much over. After that you just make a few melee units and take them out one by one. And there you have it, you have beaten the hardest Stronghold mission in the Stronghold history without even using trebuchets, catapults or horse archers. You could use them if you really wanted to, but the order is still the same. You want to kill Richard and Emir to make the fight so much easier. Also, if you really want to spam horse archers and catapults you have to mine out the quarries to the south. Otherwise your economy would not be able to support that. Good luck beating this mission and thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful to you guys, and apologies if the video wasn't too high quality. This is the first time I'm making a guide and using text-to-speech on a video. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I will see you guys on the next video. Goodbye.